What's going on, guys? I'm Mike Shana. Welcome back to my channel, Michigan Muscle. So since my last Audi RS5 update, a lot has actually changed, mainly due to the fact that I'm very bad at recording at what goes on in this car, and I get carried away and get in the zone and start taking things apart. So I'm gonna kind of go over what I've done so far since the last video, but essentially I've got the whole front end of the car taken apart, and this, for me, it wasn't exactly the easiest thing to do because a lot of things were broken and bent, and I had to pry things out of the way to get the core support off. But essentially where the car sits now, it's ready to go to the frame shop and get realigned. There's a slight bend in one of the rails. Actually in both of them, I think they're a little misaligned. So it should be a pretty easy fix, I'm hoping, fingers crossed. But everything's been taken apart. I pulled off the auxiliary radiators. The auxiliary radiators don't have a crack in them at all. They're pristine. You know, everything was perfect as far as that goes. The radiator was the only source of fluid leaking. You know, there wasn't any trans fluid leaking, there wasn't any engine oil leaking, nothing. I think even the the condenser's in good shape as well. So I have the whole front end pulled apart. I actually started loosening the fenders a little bit. I was gonna try to pull some dents out. You can see this big one right here, but that should come out pretty easily. Aside from that, the car is pretty much ready to go, like I had said. And I've already started ordering parts for it, so a lot of them have come in, like this new radiator core support. And let me tell you, some of these parts are not the easiest to get my hands on. Like this core support ended up being $550 when you can get them anywhere else, like out of the state. I'm in Michigan. So if you get them out of Michigan, they're 300 something, but because I'm from Michigan and they don't carry any of them, it ended up being 5 something with shipping and everything. It was a pain. So this is the most expensive part so far, to put things into perspective. So I haven't spent over $500 on a part yet, including a brand new headlight that I got. Well, I say brand new, but the headlight came out of a used car that got hit from behind, and the front headlight was good. So I got it for really, really cheap. But I've got the new radiator ready to go. I have the new impact bar, new hinges. I've got some new bolts for the belly pan since a lot of them were stripped on the car already. And so that's been replaced. Like I said, the car's it's all been stripped down, and mainly the next step is to go to the frame shop. Now, what I'm gonna be doing in a future video is the bumper had some damage done to it, and I'll take you back there and show you. The bumper had some cracks in it, and the grills were cracked, but I don't think they're cracked necessarily beyond repair. There's some parts missing, but it's nothing that can't be ordered because a new bumper for this car is really, really expensive. It's like $2,500. So looking at this bumper, there's a crack here. This whole front is cracked, but what I think I'm gonna be able to do is if I pull this grill out, I can actually, I don't know what that is. I can actually plastic weld this all back together and make it look seamless again. And ideally, that's what I'm gonna try to do. I have to order another one of these little headlight squirters and a tow hook cover. Actually, I might have it reversed. But other than that, that's about it for this grill. I mean, this part down here is cracked a little bit. Whoop. It's hard to manage this one-handed. But you can see right here, there's a slight crack, and then up here it's cracked. Actually, this whole thing's kind of cracked. But whatever I can salvage, I'm gonna salvage, because this bumper is really, really pricey. So even if I only have to buy one grill, I'd rather buy one grill than an entire bumper, you know, for $2,500. It's insane. But other than that, everything is here. Everything's in good shape for the most part. Actually, there's a tab broken off right here too. I just noticed off of this front grill right here relative to this side. So like I said, I'm gonna salvage as much as I can, and hopefully I can just plastic weld most of it and get it all back together, because I really don't want to get stuck into buying a new bumper. But you know, you gotta do what you gotta do, right? So I'm going through this bumper trying to piece everything together. So I'm kind of matching it up, you know, for where I can plastic weld and planning this stuff out. And it's funny, like, you know, it's literally like a puzzle. So like I found out this piece, it looks like that tab that was broken off, I actually found it. It's this entire chunk So it's this whole piece. You can see it's a little different than that side, but this whole thing actually sits in there like this. And it looks like it's part of the grill support maybe or something. I'm not really sure what this part's called. But it's part of this entire support right here. And this side doesn't look to be broken at all actually, as far as this support goes, but that side got cracked off. So I think if I pull this whole piece off, I can actually, if I pull this whole thing off, I can weld this back on, and it should be okay. But I'm missing this little headlight piece on that side, and then the tow hook cover as well. I think that's about it. I found this piece, I've got that, and then it looks like this got mangled up a little bit, so I don't know if I can fix that with heat or what. And then I think I have this as well. I've got all my parts bagged and tagged. Actually, I've got it right here. So you can see the plastic piece. Let's go ahead and match that up. And it's kind of weird how Audi did this. They riveted everything on for the most part. Like, if it focuses, you can see it's all rivets. So we have to re-rivet everything, but let's see. It looks like it goes something like that maybe, or actually that looks better. That matches up way better. So I think that's all that's gonna require. So I've got all the plastics. I mean, there's some stuff, you know, chipped down here and here, but that's not a huge issue. You know, that's still very, very usable. So I think what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna pull the bumper apart and see what parts I need, and go from there, see what's really broken on it. So another thing I wanted to do in this video is I'm gonna clean up some of these parts. They're covered in dirt, and it's actually hard to see some of the damage with how much dirt is actually there. So I was gonna spray it down with some all-purpose cleaner and kind of try to just degrease this and clean up my radiator reservoirs too, the overflow bottle. There's a tab that broke off inside of here for one of the connections, and then this one actually broke off as well. So I'm just gonna clean everything up and see what the majority of the damage is. And this is another like air inlet that goes underneath the bumper. I think a piece is cracked off. It looks like up here maybe, but once again, I want to get everything clean and coolant free just to really observe the damage. This is an expensive piece, so I'm hoping everything on here is good. It looks okay, maybe a couple little dings and dents, but it should be pretty good for the most part, like I said. So let's go ahead and start spraying this down. Parts are soaking. I'm gonna go ahead and take apart this fan shroud, and I hope that everything on it is good, but I'm gonna pull everything apart anyways, and I might have to replace this housing, but the frame, but I guess I'm gonna pull everything apart anyways, just to be safe. here is this completely disassembled. It has these active cooling passages, it looks like. But as far as damage goes, it looks like something might have hit here, like the belt rubbed on this. Actually, I'm sure that's what it was. Let's see, so that's broken. Oh, this tab looks broken as well right here. Oh yeah, it's definitely cracked. Yeah, there it is. That looks fixable though, because these pieces, they're about $190 for just this piece. It's a chunk of plastic. And if I can get away with not having to replace this, all these tabs look good. Everything along the edge looks good. I mean, nothing's terrible. This looks really good, actually. I'm gonna clean this piece off too, just so I'm working with clean parts. But this looks like it's in really good shape. I think I can repair some of the damages, and that'll end up saving me $190 in the long run. And actually, $190 is cheap for this part. That was for a used one I found on eBay. All of the other ones were $250, almost $300 just for a piece of plastic. So if I can use that part, that'll save me a lot of time and money in the long run. So hopefully this can be fixed. So I'm just gonna go ahead and crack the garage door. We can let all the water run out. I really need to get like a scrub brush or something for this piece. It looks like there's a lot of just brake dust or carbon deposits from something. It's nasty, but we got majority of it up. So go ahead and finish that up and then pull some more stuff up. All right, guys, so that's the update for today's video. I got all my parts cleaned. I'm gonna bring them back home with me to another spot where it's a lot cleaner and easier to work on, and try to repair some of these along with the front bumper. So I'm gonna bring that back with me as well. But everything's pretty much disassembled and looks like it's in really easily repairable state. And the next video you guys see will more than likely be after the car gets back from the frame shop. That should all be taken care of and repaired, I'm hoping, within the next week or so. And like I said, hopefully I'll have an update for you guys then. But as always, thanks for watching. I hope you guys are enjoying the build. If there's anything you want to see that I'm missing out on, because this is my first time recording a full build. So if I'm missing anything you guys want to see, let me know. I'll make sure to include it in the next videos. And as always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.